Hello, this is Yumiko Sakamoto, and this is my submission for the Blockmesh 1. So, starting off, the player has been assigned an objective to retrieve the generator core from this abandoned mall. Um, I don't have much in the way of the level start to imply that, because I focused more on the structure of the mall itself. So there might be like a small introduction scene here, but in the meantime, this is where the actual gameplay starts. So this introduces the idea of nodes which power different objects throughout the level, and you can see the power cords that lead from the node to the objects that it powers. So that lifts the gates. Now, originally, I did plan to have two routes through the first part of the level, but I didn't quite have the time to do that, but I might still do that afterwards if I find myself with some extra time here. So, continuing on. Here is some basic platforming. And here might be a small area for collectibles. And here is another practice section where it introduces the nodes again and more objects that can be powered by them. This time we have a moving platform and you can see the gate over there. And this also shows that multiple nodes can be connected. So I'll have to use this one to get the gate open again. Okay. And in this next area, this is another practice block. It introduces turrets. As you can see, I just took some damage from it. And the idea is to use the environment to get some cover in order to deactivate the turret. And this is another one where this will toggle the turret back on, so you'll have to move pretty quickly to get out of the way. Alright, and this is around the point where we transition into the level's focal point, and there's a checkpoint down here, the basement floor. Okay, and this is a bit of a bigger action block here with a bit of a more moderate challenge. So a couple of things. First of all, this is technically optional, but something that I tried to design with the environment is you can see that there's one light that's currently turned on and a power cord leading up to it that's partially powered. And you can see this area is pretty dark, so you could, in theory, go through it without turning the lights on, but the idea is to follow the power cord as it snakes along the ceiling here over to this node, which will turn the lights on. And if you come over here, you can see there's also a turret. So in order to get that one turned off, we can come around this way. I can make a node here, which turns the turret off, but it also shuts the gate that's up there, and that's the way to continue through the level. So, and notice that we also can't quite jump up there either, so we can't even reach the gate in the first place. So the idea is there's some physics objects back here that we can grab to use to reach the gate, and we also need to open the gate in the first place. So if we look at this power cable here, and if we follow it back, it goes this way, back around to this node. So that opens the gate. Now we need to get up there. So going over here, you can see that there's a power cord. It goes around and back this way. And this will open those gates over there so we can grab a box or two and get ourselves up to that gate. Alright. And continuing on. This space is where there's supposed to be like little office spaces. And this is also where I planned on having a combat encounter where there's a couple of zombies in the hallway and you have the option to stealth your way past. And as you can see, the gate is closed over there, so we're going to have to scoot through here. And notice that this node connects to the gate there, but also connects to this gate here. So the idea, if you want to stealth your way past, because you don't want to get spotted by the zombies, is you can take these boxes, and if you poke around, you can see there's a hole up here, which I need to add a little more environmental cues to indicate that it's up there, maybe something with a different color, because it is kind of hard to see. But if you notice, there's a pipe that you can walk across. So first, let's open the gate. Obviously, we're not really in danger because there are no zombies here, but if there were, you'd probably want to wait until you had these boxes in place first so that you could dash past before the zombies get you. And then come up here. You'll need to crouch in order to get across this pipe. And then once you're across, and the idea is that this is the stealth route where you can come around through the pipe and then through that hole there in order to get through without needing to fight the zombies. And because we can't reach that hole, there we go. Alright. And this is a small area of rest, like a storage room or something like that, where the player can pick up some health if they need it, and just maybe some more collectibles before we reach the mastery section here. Now this really doesn't have any gameplay functional right now, but this is the objective here, where the player will need to remove the generator core before they can leave. And the idea here is that there are going to be multiple nodes that power these 4 colored boxes there. And once you've activated all of them, the glass here will open and you'll be able to grab the generator core. And once that's removed, that'll open this gate over here, which will take us out of the end of the level, which... this is relatively boring. I'm gonna change it up later, but this is supposed to be like more of a cave section underground. But it emerges out back onto the surface, and we reach the level end. Thank you.